Welcome to We Should Start a Podcast, the only podcast within a podcast. Each week we'll attempt to create the next hit audio show as we pitch our brightest ideas for pods about anything and everything. But more often than not, pretty much nothing. I am your host, Podmaster and Commander Dino, and joining me, as always, are my good friends, Podmaster Chief Danders, and Davey Hogan is here too, bringing up the rear. Let's get into it.
Start a podcast.
Ooh, welcome back to a very spooky episode of We Should Start a Podcast, where for the month of Scaretober, which is realistically just going to be this one episode, we are pitching only our most blood-curdling, spine-chilling, and terror-inducing podcast ideas with the hopes of becoming the final girls of the podcast industry. It is spooky season!
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Welcome, boys. Do you know who that was?
Was it actually from Rick and Morty or whatever? Your man, what's his name?
Freddy Krueger.
That character who I'm on about?
Rick and Morty were taking off the new Freddy Krueger movies in which Freddy Krueger, for some reason, has adopted saying bitch a lot.
I didn't realize that they actually used Freddy. Like, I thought that they made up a new character or something in Rick and Morty, like. Did you use the same intro music for last year's Spooktober specials?
I didn't. I adopted something I'd previously made for the Spooktober special.
Okay. I thought I'd heard it before. Do you want to just start again? Because I'm kind of ruining it for you.
No.
It's fine,
we're rolling. And the man you hear on the mic now is your host for today, Dracula's Dong Dino. And joining me are my friends, Alpha Zombie Hog Hogan and Willem Dafoe's dick for a split second in The Man in My Basement, Danders.
Jeez, I got lucky.
So you guys might know in 2025, we've seen a big resurgence of monsters and villains hanging full dong in horror movies. So I decided that WhatsApp is going to pay a little homage to some of our favorite horror hogs we've seen throughout the year. Dave, do you have any personal favorites?
I wasn't aware that there was a thing this year. Are we seeing more dicks in cinema?
Full frontal male nudity is back, especially in the
Nice.
horror genre. Paving the
waiting for
way.
it.
It's awesome. We saw, Dracula's Dong in Nosferatu, we saw a kind of medium-sized, like, decrepit Dracula Dong. Obviously, the showstopper of the year was the Zombie Hog in 28 Years Later. And I watched The Man in My Basement a couple nights ago, Danders, and you're Willem Dafoe's dick for a split second in The Man in My Basement, Danders. He's naked at one stage, and I think they're trying to hide his dick completely, but it's so large that when he turns, you catch it for a split second, just kind of protruding out the side.
Because I was going to ask, because like it's common, folklore knowledge that Willem Dafoe has a confusingly large hog, and I wondered like how to get a look at it, basically.
Well, you gotta slow down the frame rate to a ridiculously low number, and then you gotta inch forward.
What's the movie?
The Man in My Basement. It's a pretty average movie.
Okay, but worth it.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight. How fucking dumb is this podcast that we've done this for a full year and we talked about William Dafoe's dick this exact time last year as well, and we're doing it again.
There's nothing new in podcasting.
Danders, I was gonna ask you, have you seen any good hogs in horror movies this year? But if you guys listened last year to our last year's Halloween episode, you'd know that Danders is a little squeaky baby when it comes to the horror genre. So,
I'm trying to think of any other good hogs I've seen outside of the horror genre.
Any rom-com sometimes has hogs, or I don't know, maybe you've seen some YouTube watch influencers hang hog.
Yeah. They put the watch on the hog.
You know what time it is. How are you in general, so Danders?
I'm good. Really good. I've been moving house the last few days. I went and emptied my locker in Barking. Just today, sorry, I told Tina before we started recording, and he made some incredibly bad "Are you a dog?" jokes back to me. Oh, we heard you with a full of tennis balls, and it took me so long to catch on. Anyway, yeah. So I've had a busy day. I'm surrounded in boxes and suitcases and all sorts of fun stuff. But we move literally, and now I've got a big old home. So yeah, very very good. Thank you for asking.
New podcast studio alert.
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
Being in that I'm in a new place.
Yeah.
And do you have housemates? Do you?
I do. I've got one housemate called Emmanuel,
And does Emmanuel know that you podcast? Did you warn him?
I did tell him that I podcast. He's got a girl over at the moment, so I don't know, is that better or worse to be... to be
You won't have a girl over for long after
I
he
think so.
hears us podcasting. Davey H, how are you?
I am pretty good. Pretty tired today. I was watching the UFC last night. There was a serious fucking card. So yeah, looking forward to the spooky episode. I was listening over our last one and we had a good bit of fun with it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to another one this year. Hopefully we do more than one. I know time may not allow it, but...
Yeah, we could. We probably won't get them out in October, but we did get pretty scary last year, I have to say. I think that's actually why our listeners dropped off so dramatically.
They couldn't handle it.
It's probably because we scared them too
so,
much.
Yeah. Didn't realize it was a scary podcast.
But, guys, one truly terror-inducing thing I wanted to touch on before we jump into those depraved delights is... another little new podcast that you guys might have heard of, a new podcast by the name of What's Our Podcast, hosted by Kyle Mooney and Beck Bennett. You guys heard of this little podcast? You heard of it?
Usurpers and thieves. It's absolute disgusting behavior.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to play a little sound clip here for the listeners out there. And after that, you guys might get a little taste of why we're so peeved off right now, why we're so frickin' pissed. Okay, listen to this.
Yeah, because we don't know, and we wanted to start a podcast. And the space is flooded with all sorts of stuff. You know, everybody's doing their thing, but nobody, as far as we could tell, was looking for their podcast in their podcast.
We think this is a completely original idea.
Oh, 100%. Nice. It's probably the most original podcast idea out there.
Fucking clowns.
Shame.
I feel furious.
For shame.
Did they do the single slightest tap of research into their claim? Who doesn't research a claim before jumping straight into a podcast?
Oh, and they probably think because they're former SNL cast members and we're just three little amateurs with roughly 30 listeners per episode, they can fucking steamroll the little guy like that. Those fucking jokers. They're fucking jokers.
Yeah. I think
so.
so.
What they are, jokers. Consider this the official start of our podcast beef with What's Our Podcast.
That's probably the issue, is that they're actually jokers, professionally. We just know each other.
Good neighbor stuff. You remember that?
Oh, I loved it.
I loved it too.
I hate it. Now he's a very, very bad neighbor.
Oh, that's
he's like the kind of neighbor who like steals. He's like, oh, I'm going to borrow your lawnmower, and then he steals it. And you see it like 7 years later, you're like, hey, Chad, I thought that was my lawnmower. He's like, fuck you, bitch!
Fucking clown. Fucking Kyle Mooney's new movie, Y2K. What does that stand for, Danders? Fucking, why do these two clowns have a podcast?
Okay,
right.
You already had an answer.
Fucking clowns.
Yeah.
I had an answer already. But they better get ready for the heat, is all I'm saying. Yeah. Because we've just gotten started here.
We're going to make it extremely hot for them. We're going to burn their house down.
Things are going to get pretty hot around here, that's all I can say. So
I smell fire in your future.
Okay, so just for a little context, if they had done any research and even just asked ChatGPT, are there any podcasts where each week they do a new fresh podcast in the hopes to find the next big podcast, they would find the answer, podcast that looks like what you described. We should start a podcast. Host, Dino, Dave, and Danders. Each week they try and create a next hit audio show. They pitch podcast ideas, brainstorm, formats, etc.
That is crazy.
I cannot believe that ChatGPT... Do you think that ChatGPT, though, is kind of mining your data and knows...
Maybe, but it says its source is Apple Podcasts, for which our podcasts are on. So
eat a dick, Beck and Kyle.
Fuck. Yeah, so they have to come onto our podcast and explain themselves or defeat us in some sort of pod off or something for the rights to the idea.
I don't know. That doesn't feel like it'll end well for us.
Run circles around us comedically.
You run us out of town. We're never allowed to podcast again.
We nearly had to restart our podcast because you thought you heard a theme song before. So we'll leave it there. We just have one thing to say to you, Kyle and Beck.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
This will be a continuing beef throughout the lore of our podcast, so let's get it going, boys. But this podcast isn't all about beef, mainly, as we actually just talked about there. This podcast is about trying to start a hit podcast. Actually, this podcast isn't really a podcast. It's a placeholder where we're pitching ideas, trying to go number one on the charts, but we do not have a perfect podcast idea. Although ChatGPT thinks we have a pretty sweet podcast idea. So On this show, we are pitching podcast ideas with the hopes of striking gold. We've had some bangers, but we still haven't found the right show, so we continue to pitch. And of course, pod. Is that right, boys?
That is fair to say.
David, will you ask ChatGPT like how good that podcast is? Just be like asking for a friend.
How good is the We Should Start a Podcast?
Be like out of 10. And then ask if it's better than Beck and Kyle's podcast.
Now ChatGPT has forgotten about us.
What?
Let's cut this. And with that, we are now ready to hear from our scare master of the week, Davey Hogan. And to remind everyone how this show works, Dave will be pitching his terrifying new podcast idea and taking us through a complete trial episode. Following the podcast within a podcast, colloquially known as a podception, we will collectively critique Dave's show based on a classic podcast rating system. But before he pitches, I am legally obligated to remind all the PodGoblins out there that... What's up? Never do any research as to whether these podcast ideas exist in the real world. So by accessing the content of this podcast, including the information presented, opinions expressed, and creative elements, you are hereby forfeiting rights to any intellectual property you may already hold in relation to your podcast. And that's how it's done, Kyle and Beck. You clowns don't even have a disclaimer enabling you to legally steal IP. I suppose you're just doing it the good old-fashioned dirtbag way, you fucking jokers.
I'm just gonna cut in there because I clarified with ChatGPT that we're talking about this podcast, and we got a rating. Do you want to know what it is?
Hey!
The podcast, WhatsApp, is a comedy show where hosts Dino, Dave, and Danders brainstorm and pitch new podcast ideas each week. Their goal is to create the next big podcast, often with humors and unconventional concepts. Rating, 7 out of 10.
Hey.
We'll take that.
You work with 7?
Do you know what?
With 7?
More than the rating, I'm just really happy that it was able to identify that we're a comedy podcast.
I don't think I knew that.
Do you want to know what our strengths are? Creative format,
Big old
engaging
biceps.
hosts, big old biceps, engaging hosts, and diverse topics. Our
Nice.
considerations from ChatGPT. Niche appeal. The show's meta approach to podcasting may appeal to more to creators and podcast enthusiasts than general listeners. And this is something that, and the next thing is something that we are quite very much aware of: inconsistent pacing. Some episodes may feel slower or less structured depending on the topic.
We've always said that our show isn't for general listeners. Can you save that answer, Dave? Write it down somewhere, copy
Yeah,
and
we're
paste
going to
it
get
somewhere.
that on some t-shirts, guys. Don't worry, merch is
Yeah.
coming
That
2025.
would actually be great merch. Just like an entire ChatGPT spiel with like 20 lines in really small text on a tote
buy that,
bag.
for sure. No, that's nice. Nice to get a bit of recognition.
It is, yeah, from AI, not from any of our 30 listeners. But anyways, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
When you're finished copy and pasting there, Hogan, I will let you introduce us to your new, disgusting, depraved podcast idea. So whenever you're ready, let us know what you have for us today, Hoagie.
Yes, sir. Let's lock in and bring the tone down. The podcast for this week is called Paranormal Podtivity.
Paranormal Podtivity.
Given the context, what could this possibly be about? Danders, hit me.
I think you're just going to shoehorn a bunch of paranormal stuff into a podcasting conversation.
All right. Dino?
While I'm sure that Danders pretty much hit the nail on the head, my guess is that we're doing the first found audio horror podcast, sort of like how Paranormal Activity is a found footage horror film. So we're kind of just like stitching together found audio clips of people seeing ghosts. I don't know what it would be like, just a lot of heavy breathing, the occasional what was that?
I'm going to write that down. That sounds like a great podcast. Close. Dander's closer. But let's jump into it, guys.
Okay, so today we are diving into the wicked world of Paranormal Podtivity.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Podtivity podcast, where nothing is truly as it seems. We are once again into the spookiest time of the year, and it would be unlawful for us not to give you the most scariest episode yet. Alongside me in the virtual studio, we have the headless horsemen of podcasting, Danders and Tino. Together, we divulge into the world of paranormal and creepy and often unexplainable. Let's dive into the first segment.
Wait, what were we again?
The Headless Horseman.
The Headless Horseman
But
of podcasting.
There's only two of us.
I think you're mixing two different spooky tales together. There's the Headless Horseman, and then there's the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And you could have said the apodcalypse would have been.
Well, maybe you write the fucking podcast next time, Dino, and we won't have these fucking mix-ups, all right? Or maybe it was on purpose. I don't know.
If
Who
there
knows?
was four of us, then you could have used that, or else you could have given us different nicknames. But the fact that you gave us the two Headless Horsemen is
The two Headless Horsemen.
All right,
From
let's
Sleepy
start again.
Hollows.
Alongside me in a virtual studio, I have the dickless dickheads of podcasting, Danders and Dino. Although dickless dickheads is a paradox, but either way, let's move on. Let's get into the first segment. For our first segment, we have what's called Fact or Fright. For the next few minutes, I will give the two boys 3 or 4 quick descriptions of a paranormal or spooky story from around the world. Mostly true, but one being false, and it's their job to tell me which one is false. If they succeed, I have promised to take them trick-or-treating this year. If they fail, well, we won't get
Nice.
into what will happen if they fail.
Oh no, a forfeit.
Yeah.
No.
You don't want to know.
Do you think anyone would actually give us candy if you brought me and Danders trick-or-treating? Like, you're dressed up like an adult and me and Danders are in costumes like we're your kids.
I mean, dressed up like an adult. I am an adult. There's 3 of me in a long trench coat.
Very nice.
Anyway, do you guys get the concept of the first segment? I'm going to give you like 3 or 4 brief descriptions of spooky stories, and you guys got to tell me which one is false.
Oh,
Because the
right,
rest of
okay.
them are going to be true. Okay?
I'm glad you repeated yourself. When you're in script mode, I can't always digest what you're saying, you know?
You lock in, your eyes just kind of glaze over like you're possessed.
Sorry. I want to get it right. Okay, right. Fact or fright? Let's get into the first 3. Number 1. A painting pulled from an Italian lake supposedly wept real tears and brought death to its owner. Number 2. A haunted doll in Japan reportedly grows human hair every year. Number 3. In the 1970s in London, a family home was plagued by objects flying and a girl speaking in a ghostly old man's voice.
How many are true? How many are false?
2 are true and 1 are false.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so it's only 3. Okay.
Give him again.
Okay, a painting pulled from an Italian lake supposedly wept real tears and brought death to its owner. Number 2, a haunted doll in Japan reportedly grows human hair every year. And number 3, in the 70s in London, a family home was plagued by objects flying around the room and a girl speaking in a ghostly old man's voice.
I have an idea here, Danders. I think I know which one is the false one. Firstly, because I think that the one about London and the old man's voice, one of the Conjuring movies was based off that story. And then I think the Japanese doll one, I think I've heard that story before. And then for the first one, I'm just thinking like
That's interesting.
the painting was pulled from a lake. Like it's wet.
It was wet. Yeah.
It's a tears.
Yeah, interesting, because I had definitely heard of the middle one as well, the human hair one. And I was thinking that I had maybe heard of the first one as well, because I think I had the same idea about how dopey it was. But let's go with your gut. Do we need to agree on answers, Dave? Is that the idea? As a team, we work to solve the spooky story?
Both of you.
And that's very horror movie as well. If you work as a team, usually you make it through the end. Of
Yes. If not, then everyone gets killed separately.
Typically,
which is
yeah.
very sad. So yeah, let's go with Dino's got on this, and let's say the first one is the lie.
Number 1 is absolutely false. You are both correct.
Huzzah!
Let's
Well
go.
done. Well done. Just to pick an interesting tidbit on the haunted doll, in 1918, a 17-year-old boy named Ekichi Suzuki bought a doll for his little sister, Okiku, from a shop in Sapporo. The girl adored it, dressing it, talking to it, and even named it after herself. When Okiku tragically died of an illness a year later, her family placed the doll on a household altar in her memory. Soon after, they noticed something unsettling. The doll's hair, originally a neat bob, had begun to grow. No matter how often it was trimmed, the strands would return, as though alive. Monks at Menenji Temple in Hokkaido now care for the doll, claiming it contains the spirit of a deceased child. Scientific tests confirm the hair is real human hair, but no one knows why or how it keeps growing.
Whoa, that is very creepy.
Super interesting stuff. Okay.
So they have the doll still? Is
Yeah,
that...
they have it in some temple, Menenji Temple in Hokkaido. Hokkaido? I butchered pronunciations of names and places there, so I apologize to anybody closely related to it.
For all of our Japanese fans. And also, I apologize to the Italians for what I said as well, for all our Italian fans.
Let's move on to round 2. So I have 3 more, 2 true, 1 false. Number 1. In 1973, residents of Enfield, Illinois claimed to see a 3-legged grey creature that hopped like a kangaroo. Number 2, the Fresno Nightcrawler, cryptid, only appears on CCTV footage and looks like walking pairs of trousers. And number 3, Canada once declared a Sasquatch sanctuary zone to protect Bigfoot.
Do you invent the one that's false, or like how are you getting that? Because I remember thinking when you were reading the first one that like, would you come up with something like this random? Which was read the first one again.
The whole point is it's all made up, Denders. The first one is in 1973.
Only one of them was false.
Yeah, no, but I mean the whole script is written by me.
This guy actually believes in Sasquatch. This is like when you accidentally tell a younger relative that Santa isn't real. You're like, wait, what do you mean Sasquatch? It doesn't exist. It's a story.
So the first one is in 1973, residents of Enfield, Illinois claimed to see a 3-legged grey creature that hopped like a kangaroo.
Like that is it's not interesting enough to be made up.
Exactly.
You know
That's what I was
mean?
thinking. Yeah.
And then the next one was Fresno, a guy who's not on the CCTV or just his pants, which I'll believe. And then the third one was again?
Canada once declared a Sasquatch sanctuary
the Sasquatch
zone where logging was temporarily banned to protect Bigfoot.
I think it's the Canada one, Danders. That's my thought.
Let's do it. Let's lock in 3.
Number 3 is absolute bullshit. Correct, boys. Well done.
Hooray!
We're doing the best at this.
2 for 2.
You are on a roll. So let's pick one. The Enfield Horror, which is 1973 residents of Enfield, Illinois. Okay, on the night of April 5th, 1973, Henry McDaniel of Enfield, Illinois, heard scratching at his door. When he opened it, he came face to face with a bizarre creature, grey, slimy, about 4 feet tall, with 2 short arms and 3 legs. Fucking weird. Ending in talon-like feet. It had glowing red eyes and hopped like a kangaroo before vanishing into the darkness. Other residents soon reported seeing the same creature, even the police were called. McDaniel shot at it and claimed to have hit it, but it hissed like a wildcat and escaped. The case drew media attention, UFO investigators and armed locals scouring the area, but the creature was never caught. To this day, no explanation has ever been confirmed. Some people suggest it was a kangaroo, an escaped ape, or an alien visitor. Creepy shit.
Lots of hopping like kangaroo in these stories.
I guess. I think it probably, if it says 3-legged, it was probably a kangaroo, right? Surely?
Yeah, or just like some animal with missing a leg. I don't know.
That's also possible, yeah.
Kangaroos don't have 3 legs. I mean, they've got
No, but they lean
They
on
have
their
a
tail.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Danders believes in Sasquatch, but he doesn't believe in fucking kangaroos.
Okay. Okay, go on.
No, go on.
No, I didn't have anything to say. It's just-
This is the gold material Beck and Kyle that we got going on over here.
This is worth 7 out of 10, boys.
Yeah. All right, go on, Davey.
All right, number 3, round 3. Number 1, in 1954, a Frenchman claimed he was frozen in place by a beam of light from a flying saucer. Number 2, the CIA accidentally started a UFO panic in the 1950s because of a secret U-2 spy plane test. Number 3, a UFO conference in Nevada once banned aluminium hats after people kept using them to pirate the speaker's audio.
I believe anything the CIA would do, so like,
Yeah.
I'm automatically just not going to think that's a lie, no matter what is said.
What did they do? They put like Bono in a spy plane or what?
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that guy. What else was there? So we had the spy plane, which I'm going to say was true just because it's CIA. Give me the others.
The Frenchman that claimed he was frozen in place by a
I
beam
believe
of
that
light.
one as well.
And then the UFO conference in Nevada banned aluminium hats after people kept using them to pirate the speaker's audio.
Now, I don't really know what that means. It's like...
Is it like to pirate? Is it to block audio? Maybe is that what it means? Possibly.
Well, the fact that you don't know what it means that you pulled it from somewhere.
Everything is pulled from somewhere.
Okay, so it's not your depraved, sick mind you're pulling these from.
I'm still struggling with the idea, like, pirating that. Is it like changing the station? Like with the police, you get the police on one line on the walkie-talkie and then you can hear it when you're rolling through the radio or something like that. Like, anyway, I would say let's pick that one as false because even though the level of detail that's there is probably true, but it's just confusing while the other two feel straightforward. So even though it's kind of the wrong approach, I just say we just do that. What does that mean to you?
I'm in on that one, Danders. Let's
do
lock it in.
Cool. You're locking in number 3. Number 3 is false.
Oh,
You're 3 for
on
3.
a fucking roll, boys.
3 for 3. Good job, boys. Good job, boys. Let's do one more before we move on. 3 more. 2 are true. 1 is false. 1. A painting called The Crying Boy was blamed for house fires in the UK. Every fire destroyed the house but left the painting untouched. Number 2. A mirror from the RMS Queen Mary ship is said to show reflections of people who aren't there. Number 3. In 2003, eBay banned Ouija boards because one user said a digital ghost followed her through her computer.
So we have what? We have a haunted mirror. We have haunted painting that won't burn in house fires but is causing them. And then we have a digital
Ouija
ghost,
board.
which is a pretty cool name for like a, I don't know, a rapper or something.
I'm bored of this now. Let's just move on.
Let's lock in fucking digital ghost and move on.
Digital ghost.
Digital ghost is correct. Well done, boys.
Hey.
Yes, let's pick one at random to give you an explanation. The haunted mirror of the RMS Queen Mary. Docking in Long Beach, California, the RMS Queen Mary is a retired ocean liner turned hotel and one of the most haunted places in America. Among its many artifacts is an ornate mirror said to date from the ship's first-class staterooms. Guests and staff report seeing faces or figures appear in its reflection. That's kind of what mirrors do. People who aren't present in the room. Oh wait, there we go. Some claim. Finish the sentence. Some claim the mirror.
I can imagine this is how you like read books, Dave. You're just like, half a sentence, you're like, that's fucking bullshit. Oh wait, yeah.
Some claim the mirror shows glimpses of passengers who died on board during its years of service, including soldiers from its World War II troopship days. Despite debunking attempts, the mirror remains a highlight of the Queen Mary's ghost tours, drawing thousands of paranormal enthusiasts every year. It's quite interesting. It's kind of cool. Cool stuff. All right, boys, that was fun. Despite Danders getting bored of it. I love how you just disappear for like 3 months. And the first segment, you're like, I'm bored of this. I'm bored. You fucking wanker. Moving on. Let's take a quick break. And we shall be back in a few minutes for more spooky shit. Welcome back to Paranormal Podtivity. In the last section of the podcast, we ran through Fact or Fright, and the two boys actually hit a home run and got them all correct. Probably too easy on my part, but let's get into the second segment. For the second part of our show, we share something that is common in most people, recollection of spooky stories from our past. These stories can be of a personal nature, or even something that a family member or friend told you when you were young and swear by being true. I asked the two boys to prepare some little tidbits for this section ahead of time. So with that being said, we will let Danders take over and give us a spooky recollection, spooky story.
Yeah, so I guess it isn't like the most gripping spooky story, but it is a genuine spink story that my mother told me that she stands on. And I've heard like other family stories that are perhaps more compelling or whatever, but this one is a genuine spink. I was going to say creation, but not a creation, a genuine spink truth.
Certified spink classic.
Yes. So there was one time when we were all very, very young and we were on holiday somewhere with my cousins on my mum's side of the family, and where we were escapes me. It could have been France. I mean, it's not really important because I can't remember, so it could be anywhere. But basically my sister, my younger sister was a baby at the time. She cried in the middle of the night and my mum got up to soothe her. And when she got to the room, there was already a woman there with dark hair and white flowy clothes. And this like wave of calm came over my mum. And she went, oh, my sister's in there taking care of her. That's fine. Head back to have a tranquil dream, absolute peace. And then obviously the next morning she said, well, thanks for taking care of Hannah. And my auntie said, well, I didn't get up last night at all. And you could say, well, obviously she just forgot that she got up or whatever, but afterwards my mum realized that her sister would never wear flowy white pajama clothes and also had a different hairstyle to the woman who was in the room last night taking care of my sister.
Ooh, that is actually really spooky. Holy shit.
Yes.
That is pretty
Beat that,
spooky.
Dino.
Oh my god. And was your mum did your mum immediately jump to it being a ghost, or was it? I would think that someone broke in and was like
Just really caring.
doing something.
I think the kind of energy that hit her made her reach that, or perhaps I'm not sure why that was the immediate conclusion, because it's not like she's especially superstitious or about supernatural activity in general.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to ask her.
Mm-hmm.
She was basically pretty convinced, just an instinctive conclusion, I guess, that it was a ghost.
Yeah, especially when it's accompanied by those strange, almost supernatural feelings, like the calmness, for example. level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the place you were staying, was it old or was it known to be haunted or something, or was it just?
I wouldn't say that it was known to be haunted. It was probably like some older equivalent of an Airbnb or something like that, or a hotel, or a place that was rented out. And if they had a spooky background, they didn't tell us about it before we were booking the place. Because like obviously some people would go mad for a spooky booking, but this wasn't like around Halloween. It was like a summer holiday or whatever,
Yeah,
so it was out of season,
season.
to hit a genuine spooky booking. But no, as far as I know, it's just like a regular old holiday home situation.
So the Airbnb listing didn't have a badge that was like 100% ghost free. It didn't specify.
No, it didn't. So it could have been, the opposite, like I say. So,
Yeah.
Interesting. A scare B&B. I like it.
Hey, there it is,
Heyo.
Dave.
There's
That's a good business idea. That's a really good business idea. I'm pretty sure that exists already.
Surely.
With a name
Right?
like that, that's an obvious one, but nice one, Dave. We're gonna pivot maybe from podcast to business owners.
Yeah.
A logistical nightmare to like track down and then have to rent out genuine spooky places. I feel that like have a pass, because you have to get them to buy in and let it to you at a reasonable price that you can turn a profit off.
They don't need to be. You can like not build, but like you can make a scary house and have people rent it out and have spooky shit happen throughout the night. And that's the whole shtick.
Yeah.
And a group will pay.
But that's kind of like a haunted house trip, but I guess it's an Airbnb thing, so you'd stay overnight and keep doing stuff in the night. Like
You stay overnight and
Yeah.
you're monitored overnight, and the Airbnb host or Scare B&B host will ensure scary shit happens throughout the night. Things
hey,
creak.
who's that jacking me off?
You can't call the cops because it's a ghost. This is just ectoplasm.
Lock that in. I'll be surprised if that doesn't exist already.
We'll look it up afterwards. We'll let you know in the notes on the episode, guys, if Scare B&B exists.
Indeed.
But we've never done notes before, so you just have to figure it out.
So we did get a bit of a spooky story in from a listener, and we have it prepared. This one is from Cian from our hometown. Dino, play the clip.
Our next door neighbor, he was a grown man, like, but with autism. But like, we didn't know that when we were a kid. I just thought he was I thought he was just mental. But anyway, one time he fucking came into our house. The mother was saying, let himself into the gaff and everything when we were kids. He used to like have a liking for me or something. Anyway, we had a gate at the top of our road. That like, because there was like bales in the field at the top of our road, like the cul-de-sac, and fucking Liverpool in there after scoring there. At night time he used to walk up to the gates, and he used to stand on the gate and fucking shake it to fuck. He'd nearly fucking take, because he was a big strong fucker, and he used to like, I remember being down at my friend's house and not wanting to go home because you could see him at the top of the road. It would be about 10 o'clock at night, and he's about a 30-year-old man, big strong fucker. With autism, and he used to fucking shake the gates to fuck, and I'd be spooked out of it. I wouldn't want to go home at all.
Ooh, autism.
No, do you know what I love about this? When you are that young and you don't quite understand about autism and what it is, like that is a real life Mike Myers in your mind. A fella making
Yeah,
noises
that's true.
late at night.
Yeah.
In your estate, no idea what's happening or why he's doing it. Like that's got to be
Fair
fucking.
play for your commitment for getting Cian on to send you the voice note and everything and give us the whole spiel, man. That's I think we're up to an 8 in my estimation now. I'm I'm happy that you put the extra work into that, Dave. Thank you for that.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sure Cian is delighted that autism was recently resolved. It was cured by Trump's administration.
I
So
love the way he kept adding it as an afterthought. Big strong fucker, like with autism.
some of those guys can be really strong.
Super strong, yeah.
I don't know where it comes from.
Heard some of them can lift a car off their like mother who's like disabled or something like that. You know.
I loved your comparison to Michael Myers, Dave. That's very good.
I was stuck on The Spy Who Shagged Me. Like I was stuck on Austin Powers. I couldn't get off Mike Myers.
Trains, baby.
Groovy. Okay, well that was Cian. I didn't get any more voice notes, but I did ask for a few stories. But before we get into my one, Dino, what you got for us?
I have a couple ones. They're short, so I might just fly through both of them. So the first one is a story that my dad told me from when he was younger, and he was out camping with friends in the wilderness of Ontario in a provincial park. So this is out in the middle of nowhere, not at a designated campground, kind of just hike out into the woods, find a spot and camp out. So it was nighttime, maybe around like 11 or 12, and my dad and his friends were sitting around the fire when they hear rustling in the woods behind them. And out of the darkness comes a disheveled, scraggly, white-bearded old man covered in dirt and ripped clothes, not wearing any shoes, walking into their campsite. Keeping in mind, again, that this is miles away from anywhere remotely close to civilization. So he stumbles into the site and he asks them for a ride to the nearest town, which is about a 2-hour drive away. So they did a little sidebar between them, and they decided to draw straws, and the one who got the shortest straw, the loser, had to drive the guy into town alone instead of a few of them going in the car, which is like a completely dumb horror movie decision that was actually made in real life. The story kind of just runs out of steam there. Basically, he drops the guy into town 2 hours away, comes back, he's fine. It was another guy, not my dad. But they never found out where he came from, how he got there, and apparently he was pretty much silent the entire car ride.
Well, that is super creepy and like such a horror movie intro. But I was convinced when you told me the story first time many years ago that you decide maybe you were just embellishing, but you said that there was a mental asylum nearby or something like that. Okay.
So that's that. Basically, the running theory is that he was released from a maximum security prison, which was in the general vicinity, but miles and miles away. And that when he was released, he had nowhere to go. So he just basically started wandering through the woods and came across my dad and his friends out camping in the middle of the woods. Man. And like just happened upon them, didn't have any ill intentions, just wanted a lift into town. But imagine being out in the middle of nowhere and a man in ripped clothes, covered in dirt, no shoes, wanders into your sight.
But like those details as well were so funny that they drew straws for one thing, like legitimately drew straws.
Yeah.
And then like you say, like obviously it's going to be safer with 2 of you going or 3 of you going. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just like letting one poor person who's going to be the first one to die. Like
that is spooky. That's an interesting segue into a small story Emer told me. One of her uncles or uncle's friends or something one night was driving home from work or driving into town or something like that. It was late at night, and on the side of the road, very dark, like most rural country roads, there was a couple walking. Mm-hmm. This was back in when you could hitchhike and it was safe-ish. And they thumbed the car down and asked for a spin into town. And they said, fuck it, it's late, it's blustery wind and shit like that. So they drove him into town, dropped him off, thought nothing more of it, was at the pub then that night, and they were sitting in the pub, and someone in the pub turned to him and goes, geez, it was an awful shame what happened, that couple that died. And they were like, what you mean? Yeah, they died there a few days ago. And it was the exact same couple that they had dropped into town in their car.
Was it on the same day?
They had apparently died a few days previous.
Oh, right.
And this was Emer's uncle?
Uncle or uncle friend or something like that.
You sure Emer's uncle didn't just
kill the guy?
Kill them drink driving and came up?
No, I saw them a couple of days later. So.
And by that stage, they were already ghosts. So,
so it definitely wasn't me.
Couldn't have been me.
The front of his car is completely like dinged in, dented.
Maybe. Spooky all the same.
Very spooky.
Very spooky.
I have another little spooky story from a few years ago when I lived in Windmill Road in Cork. I don't know if you guys were ever in that house ever. Were you?
I don't think so.
When I lived with Shane and Caroline and
Dan,
Dan,
yeah, I was, of course.
And it was an old house attached to an old abandoned convent or nunnery. It was at a stage where I think Shane and Caroline were living somewhere else for a while. They were doing something and they weren't there. So it was just me and Dan. And we started noticing weird things happening around the house. So like at night, we'd hear weird noises like moving downstairs, doors opening and closing. We just thought it was an old house. You know, they creak, there's wind and stuff. So we thought nothing of it. Then we started noticing things being moved. Like I'd go to get my toothbrush in the morning from the bathroom and I couldn't find it. And then I found it in the bin across the room. And I asked Dan and he was like, I didn't touch your toothbrush. And then things like lights would be on in the morning that we turned off. One day I came downstairs and the front door was open. And every night before going to bed, I checked that it's closed and locked. And Dan said he didn't open it either. And then the spookiest one was one night Dan was in the house alone and he wakes up in the middle of the night to hear music playing downstairs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. Ooh,
how did I get there?
He wakes up to hear music playing downstairs. He's like, what the fuck? So he goes downstairs and the TV is on with his PlayStation on and there's a game on that's paused in the middle of a level of a game that he hadn't played in months. And he turned off the TV and everything before he went to bed. And we were both kind of just bewildered. We're like, what the fuck is this? So we came to the conclusion, well, I don't know if this actually happened, but we jumped to the conclusion of, instead of it being a ghost, that someone had a key to our house or was secretly living in our house. So we searched up and down. We went up into like the little attic crawl space and never found anything. And this kind of weird happenings went on for about a couple weeks and then just stopped.
Mad. Because I was originally, obviously, the first kind of answer people have to stories like that is, oh, someone must have been a sleepwalker. Do you know? You hear that quite often.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Maybe you were the sleepwalker.
It could
the
have
whole
been me.
time, you know? But yeah, very spooky altogether.
That is spooky.
Did you have one for us, Dave?
Yeah. Actually, I have one creepy one that we can finish off with. So this is a story my father told me. Now, he told me this years ago, and I thought no more of it until I was asking him about it for this podcast. So when they first moved into our home house back in Banmore,
And that's in Kerry?
in Kerry, in our Kerry, yeah, out in the countryside, middle of nowhere job, Dad, maybe once every few weeks, late at night, he would see a little girl at either at the foot of the bed or down the end of the hall, or like things like that, where he might fall asleep on the couch or something and wake up, and then as he was going to bed, he'd see her at the end of the hallway and shit like that. Little girl, kind of very dark demeanor and pigtails. Mom just assumed he just had a few too many drinks or some bullshit like that. Thought no more of it. He said he saw it every few weeks, and then they ended up moving out of Banmore, moved to Abbeyfield for a few years, and then my sister Jessica was born. And then when they moved back into Banmore a few years later, with myself and Jessica, the sightings stopped happening. So Dad will always say, oh, once Jessica was born and Jessica moved into the house, the little girl that was haunting the house, or haunting him maybe, never appeared again, right?
That's interesting.
But again, thought no more of it, just like Mom thought he was just had a few too many drinks, didn't believe him, whatever. And they
Turns out your dad had autism.
She was shaking the gate. So yeah, they hadn't told anyone because it was just, stupid little story. And then fast forward 10 years later, they were having some legal dispute about the boundary of the house between them and the big field next door, and they had to go down the solicitor route. And the solicitor had actually reached out to the person who lived in the house before Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad had never met this woman. 80-year-old woman, old lady. She'd lived there about 10-15 years, something like that. Mom went into the solicitor a few weeks later. Solicitor said, oh, I got an affidavit from your one. She said where the boundary is, yada yada yada. And then he was like, and you know what? She was more interested in telling me about this little girl she used to see late at night around the house.
What?
And keep in mind, Mom and Dad had never told anybody, let alone the solicitor, about this story from 10 years previous. And Mom was sideways on the chair.
Maybe like the ghost was Jessica before she was born, or maybe like she just wanted a girl to be born and then she was happy to like get peace and clear off or something like that.
Maybe I told the story to a few of the lads last night, and they did say maybe it was a case that the ghost reformed into Jessica, so Jessica is now this haunted fucking. She's gonna freak out. She hears
You better keep me away from that at the wedding. That's all I can say. I don't want to sit next to the fucking ghost sister.
She has autism as well. So.
Low key. So yeah.
Actually, pitch Scarebnb to your ghost sister. She could be a good asset for us.
That's true. Actually, yeah, she can haunt the house.
Shake the gates.
We'll get onto that guy too. Our Scarebnb is your ghost sister, the guy shaking the gates, and an old guy with not wearing any shoes wandering around the house. Oh, and also we can get your mom's white billowy dress.
My mom's
lady.
white sister.
Your mom's white sister. We have a white sister. We have a ghost sister.
All right, yeah. So totally spooky stories, guys. Thank
Really
you for
spooky
that.
story.
Nice. I feel
Really
very
enjoyed
scared
that.
right now.
And it's nighttime for you, Danders.
It is
morning for us.
nighttime, yeah, which is funny because both of you guys have nighttime backgrounds on, and I'm in like a very like sunrise Disney Castle thing, so the script is flipped, as it
is.
were. But it is very, very, very night outside.
Interesting. Well, unfortunately.
Well, we're bored of this podcast.
Yeah. Well, we are almost out of time. So with that, we have reached the end of our paranormal pod. Be careful out there, guys. Enjoy the spooky season. And remember, nothing is ever as it seems. Take care.
Welcome back to We Should Start a Podcast, already in progress. We just heard the depraved Paranormal Podtivity from Davey Hogan. I really enjoyed that one, Dave, actually. The more we do these spooky ones, the more I'm thinking that maybe we should just pivot to a full spook cast.
It's fun stuff, man. It's fun stuff. And like, it's my father said when I was talking to him about it, was like, Ireland specifically is like seeped in this spooky folklore when it comes to banshees and fairies and paranormal bullshit. Like, there's so much, and pretty much, as I said, every adult when I was a kid has some sort of spooky story that they swear was true or swear happened. And I think growing up in rural Ireland as well, a lot of that paranormal shit happens because there's no streetlights. It's like people are walking home in the pitch dark after work or nights out and shit like that. So like, you're gonna come across spooky shit like.
And Halloween as a tradition originates in Ireland. So.
Yeah, exactly. Plus our landscape fits it. Like, we have loads of castles and old shit as well. Like,
it rains all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys are going to have to go and find a third spooky panelist while I go and start a Christmas podcast.
I am your host, Dino. Joining me, as always, are my two friends and co-hosts, Dave Hogan and Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster. Yeah.
Sorry, he hates when I do that.
I'm losing my voice here for some reason. I haven't talked this much on a mic in a long time. You guys probably know out there, if you're listening, that we took a pretty major release and record hiatus there for a while, but we're back and we're spooky as ever. So, as always, we will critique Paranormal Podtivity using the classic podcast rating system based on 3 criteria. And those 3 criteria are: number 1, the concept or the general idea of the show. Number 2 is longevity. Do we think this show has spider legs to grow? Ooh. And number 3, and probably most importantly, is pod sauce. Pod sauce is the je ne sais quoi flair or spice to the podcast that makes it a winner. Pod sauce could be literally anything you enjoyed from the pod or something you think gave the pod some extra flavor. This week's pod sauce segment is sponsored by Ghost Pepper Sauce.
Nice.
Ooh. A shockingly low-effort pun hot sauce made from 100% supernatural ingredients. So
that's clever.
So after discussing these 3 criteria, which are longevity, concept, and pod sauce, we will each give our final rating of this week's pod sauce. Every single fucking time of this week's podcast. Will Paranormal Podtivity be a smash hit, or should we trash it? Dave, I'll let you take us through this rating segment.
Thank you, Dino. Let's get into the review cycle of the podcast. Review cycle of shit.
Get your head in the fucking
Fucking
game.
head in the game, man. Fucking stuck in work
You're
shit.
going to be replaced by Frankenstein in an instant. Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, yeah, Dino, Frankenstein, and Frankenstein's monster.
I get replaced by fucking, I don't know, a werewolf or
Werewolf,
something.
yeah.
Welcome back to... That sounded like Scooby-Doo.
He's a friendly werewolf.
Let's get into it. So, for the concept of the show, Danders, what are we thinking?
It's I like the concept. It's a paranormal and it's a pod. Yep. Yeah, I can see this going well.
Oh, wow.
Great talking as
Glowing
usual,
review.
Danders. Thank you. Dino, concept.
I love the idea of the show, Dave. You know I'm a big fan of the spooky supernatural, and I liked your spin on it this time, it being around stories and folklore. It gave a little personal twist to it, and I enjoyed hearing your guys' spooky stories. In particular, Dave, that ghost story your dad had is pretty bone-chilling.
Very eerie. And you know, when I started writing for the pod and then I started talking to people, it's mad how many stories people had. Like, I was talking to my father for about 45 minutes with all these little banshee stories and shit like that.
Like everyone has one.
Yeah, yeah.
Which kind of leads me into longevity. I mean, everyone has at least one story, and it's so interesting hearing people's like little personal twists on what are usually the same stories repeated, you know, which makes it even more spooky that people are seeing the same things. I don't know if it's like causation or correlate, or do you know what I mean? Like, are people seeing the same shit because they hear stories of other people seeing that stuff, so their brain's kind of pre-wired to interpret certain things happening as those?
Or are they
Yeah.
just seeing the same shit?
Or are they just seeing the same shit? Exactly. Yeah.
It's an interesting thought. What do you think about the longevity of the show, Danders?
Yeah, I think even if everyone just has one ghost story, you still have a few billion episodes there, and then after that, you could just make them up. You know what I mean? Like,
Could just make them up.
and also, you don't need to tell us a ghost story every time. You could kind of pivot. You know what I mean?
Could be a story about a guy with autism. Just as scary.
Yeah, for example. So yeah, I definitely think you could. I'm sure that there are dedicated horror and spooky podcasts. So I think that we could crest that wave nicely forever and ever.
Yeah.
If we wanted to.
Yeah, we could do it like that other podcast and do zero research into whether there is or not and just go ahead with it and claim we're the only one. But we're not that low. Moving on to the pod sauce. Dino, what was your pod sauce for this week?
Well, speaking of stories about guys with autism, I think my pod sauce is this little voice note from Kian. It's great hearing another voice on the pod, and I especially like that story because it kind of highlights this phenomenon of when you're a kid, you view the world through such a different lens. So a lot of these ghost stories that we hear from people when they're kids, it probably is just something like that, something so simple and explainable, but you build it up in your head, you create all these different spooky narratives when it's just a man with autism shaking.
Yeah, thanks for that, Dino. That's interesting. I did like the voice note. I was happy when I asked, and he came back with a voice note. I was like, sweet, we can use that. Ideal, something different, because we haven't had voice notes on the chat before from other people, but on the pod before from other people. So it was nice. Thank you, Danders. Pod sauce.
It was a double sauce moment for me, I have to be honest. Like, that was just so burned in my head to
double sauce.
double sauce and sauce them up. I couldn't think of a different one in time because that one was just so clearly my pod sauce. Kian's got a great voice for podcasting, man. We got to get him on the show. We'll
We
give
have
him
to
a
get
spooky
guests on the
segment.
show. We got to get guests on the show.
But yeah, Kian,
Yeah.
you're the man. So thank you for that, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Kian. Thanks, guys. The final rating.
We could get do you know how have you ever seen those Jubilee videos where it's like 50 MAGA supporters versus one Democrat or whatever? We could do that and get lots of guests on the show, like 50 MAGA supporters versus Frankenstein or something.
Yeah, I've not heard of that style of show before.
Okay.
But I think Kian would take him.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Just shaking the fuck out of the thing, man.
Great story. He told it very well.
Despite the Liverpool game being on at the time.
Yes. Yeah.
He locked in pretty well. So let's get into the final rating for the podcast. Danders, what are you thinking? Smash hit, or should we trash the shit out of it?
A+, baby. It's a smash hit from me.
Nice. Thank you. There we go.
Scream Too Long is back.
Jesus. That was actually Kian as well. He sent
Yes.
that.
Yeah. That's the sound of the guy shaking the
That was the guy in the gate, yeah.
Dino, final rating. Are we going to trash it, or is it a certified smash hit?
Dave, I pretty much loved the podcast. As you know, I've given a glowing review of it. But in saying that, I'm scared that this podcast might be a little bit too spooky. Like we said, last year we got pretty spooky, pretty depraved, and I think that scared away some of our listeners. So I don't really want that to happen again. But in saying that, I can't say a bad word about this podcast. It is an absolute smash hit for me.
I don't know that. Have we told the listeners that this is our correct answer sound? They're all just
I'm sure they'll figure it out.
That's what it's replacing
yeah.
for you erstwhile listeners.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, it looks like a smash hit. Take it away, Dino.
It's an absolute smash hit, guys. And obviously, Dave, the creator, you think it's a smash hit as well. So with a resounding positive response, Paranormal Podtivity is a certifiable smash hit. But at What's Up, we like to hedge our bets. So until we can get this spooky boy into production, we will continue plotting, pitching, and of course, podding until we are certain we have the next pod smash on our hands. Any closing words, boys?
Nah.
I'm bored. Let's get out of here. I think it was a good re-entry into the pod space after a hiatus.
Yeah. We came for the most critical months, which you guys love, the old Spooktober. So happy to have done that one justice now. Hopefully it comes out, roughly in the ballpark of the right time zone.
Yes.
And so a lot of fun.
We may have to reschedule a few release dates, but we'll figure it out. Dave, anything to leave the people with?
No, not at all, actually. funnily enough.
Never saw that one coming. You heard it here first. Listen out for Paranormal Podtivity coming soon exclusively to the Ghastly Ghost Pepper Sauce podcast app. If you think we should start Paranormal Podtivity, please rate, subscribe, and let us know at WhatsApp Official on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. That is WSSAP Official on Instagram and X. We are inches away from a huge idea, and you can tune in again next week to hear us pitch that next hit show. And please don't tune into What's Our Podcast. That's a podcast for clowns. So unless you're Pennywise, don't listen to all that clown shit.
Or Bozo.
Yeah, Danders G. Have you heard of anyone else who listens to What's Our Podcast?
I think Krusty listens to.
Yeah. I saw someone on the bus yesterday, and I looked down at their phone, and they were listening to What's Our Podcast, and I looked up, and it was Ronald McDonald.
I'm trying to remember the thing where it doesn't matter. Fuck it, we need to cut this. So I can't think of it while I'm laughing at this. Sorry.
Until next time, folks, keep your ear to the grindstone. And this Halloween, when the hour is late and the wind rattles through the abandoned black hallways, sending shivers up your spine, when spindly branches drag like broken nails across your windows, and the moon casts ghastly shadows scurrying up your dimly lit walls, remember the cautionary words of poet Edgar Allan Poe from his 1845 short story, The System of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather. Believe nothing you hear, and only half that you podcast. See you next time, folks.